We want to return to our big story this morning. After 3 years, investigators have found and identified the skeletal remains of Suzanne Morphew. She disappeared back on Mother's Day 2020 in Salida. Her body was found in Saguache County. Now, at one point, Morphew's husband, Barry Morphew, faced charges in her death. That case was dismissed before the trial ever began due to lack of evidence. But now investigators have Morphew's body, which was the main piece of evidence prosecutors lacked in this case. So to get some legal insight into the next steps, our 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor is joining us. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, it's good to be here.
This story is fascinating a lot of people. It gained national attention. It's taken a lot of twists and turns, including the arresting and charging Barry Morphew, the husband. But those charges, the trial was suspended.
Yeah.
Why was it dismissed at the time?
Yeah, this case has taken so many twists and turns because what happened was they didn't have a body, of course. And so you can still prosecute without a body, a no body prosecution, but it's obviously much more difficult. And so the prosecutor initially had charged Barry Morphew with 3 different charges, including murder. And while that was pending, the prosecutor was continually saying, we have lots of information, lots of data, but it was all sealed, so nobody actually knew what information there was. And so as they went forward, the prosecution was continually being sanctioned by the judge because they weren't sharing information with the defense. So allegedly there was another male's DNA found on the bike, and those kind of things were not shared with the defense. So ultimately, just days before the trial, the case was dismissed, but it was dismissed without prejudice. So that means that it can be brought again. If it was dismissed with prejudice, they would not be able to bring it again.
So we know Barry Morphew was charged, was arrested. No trial actually started, and there was a reason for that. A lot of people have been bringing up this double jeopardy thing. Talk about how that really doesn't apply in this situation.
Yeah, double jeopardy doesn't apply here. He wasn't tried. And so double jeopardy is a beautiful thing in the 5th Amendment that prevents us from being tried twice for the substantially same crime. So an overly zealous prosecutor tries somebody not guilty, they try it again and again and again until they get it right. And so double jeopardy here, he was not tried. He was charged, and as I mentioned earlier, the judge dismissed it without prejudice, meaning the prosecution could bring it again. And so if the forensic evidence, now that they found the remains, if that implicates him, he would certainly be charged. And there's a lot of people who believe that.
Yeah, that was kind of the worry. Had they proceeded in the trial with what they currently had without the remains, then double jeopardy could have absolutely applied.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. If he had been charged and found not guilty, and then they found the body and found all this incriminating evidence, yes, he would not be able to be charged again. And that's, a concern that people may have with double jeopardy, but overall it is a protection that we want as citizens of this country.
What happens next here in this case?
So now they didn't release much information about the state of the remains and if there were other evidence and that kind of thing. So we'll have to wait and see. They will continue to prosecute. And as I understand, they found they found the remains when they were on some other investigation. And so now this will certainly open it up, and they'll take what evidence they find and move forward, hopefully with prosecution.
Yeah, I think a big part of this is the autopsy report, which takes several weeks to see how Suzanne died, and so that will be a big part of this as well. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know we kind of called you in last minute when all this broke, and there's been so many questions about the double jeopardy and where it goes from here, so we always appreciate you coming in, Whitney.
For sure, and it'll be interesting to see how it progresses, so I'll be back, hopefully not this early.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be following along. Whitney, thank you.